Okay, so light trap is usually used for insects that are attracted to light. Just as the name implies, light trap. Now you can notice that you would notice that um, sometimes at night when a bulb is put on at night, that some insects come close to the bulb. So these are insects that mostly can be attracted by light. So now insects that are mostly attracted by light are the moths. The moths. Now when the light is put on, you notice that it is the males that go for the light first. It is the males that will respond, that will go towards the light. Why the females will be in the hiding, watching at what is happening. I'm talking about the moths now. So moths, if you want to catch moths, more of the moths, you use the light trap. But then there are still no good reasons why the moths are attracted to the light. No research has come to say this is why they are more attracted to light or the other. Okay. Also, not just the moths, the beetles, the bugs, beetles and the bugs are equally attracted to light. But then, but most especially, it is the moths that always comes before. Immediately it sees the light, it comes towards the light. The light trap is usually used to find out the relative abundance of a particular species. Okay, because somehow it is selective in the attraction. Not all insects are attracted to light. Only the ones that are attracted to light that comes to the light. So with that, you can actually know how many of, for instance, let me say the moths. How many of the moths are in an area? Because you know that most of them will come to the light. Okay. So the advantage of using the light trap is that you don't have to do much. You don't have to chase after the insects. The insects will come by themselves immediately they see the light. Is that clear? But then you know one has to set a trap under it in order to collect the insects because if it's not just about them coming out to see the light. You must make sure that when they come you should be able to catch them. So you can decide to put a bowl of water under the light trap that's under the bulb. A bowl of water can be put there so that when they hit the light they can fall into the water. But you know that insects don't sink into water. Rather, insects will float on top of the water. So, in order to reduce the surface tension of the water so that they would sink, you can add a little bit of detergent. So, detergent is added to reduce the surface tension of the water so that immediately it lands on the water, it will sink instead of just floating. Is that clear? Then, other methods of collecting insects can equally be used. You can use your hand, could use a putter, okay? Sometimes, too, one could use a killing agent into the water, like say um, one could put a little bit of chloroform inside, so immediately they enter, they die. Okay, but then this is an example of a light trap. The one by your left that is a little bit dark. This was set in Ghana when I went for my masters. We went for insect collection at night. So you see that there is a white wrapper was tied to this tree. There are two trees there. Then the light was placed behind the wrapper. Okay, you can't see this clearly, but on the floor were bowls of water. on the floor was there's balls of water with detergent, so that immediately the insect comes to the light, it hits the material and slides down and falls into the bowl of water. Okay, so that is for the light trap. I'm going to pause now for questions. If you have a question, please raise up your hands. If you have a question, just raise up your hand. I will call you. Uh-uh. Am I the only one in this meeting? Warrior Uchenna, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, sir. So you say that we can use detergent to reduce the surface tension of the water.
Yes.
So will that detergent not be harmful to people that can eat the insects? Insects such as a termite. Will it still be useful? If
Oh, my brother. Anyway, I like your question, but we are not. We don't go for field insect collection because we want to eat the insects. I'm not teaching you how to hunt insects for food. I'm teaching you how to catch insects for study. The aim of what we are doing is let us go and get insects that we will study, not to go and get insects that will eat or sell. Is that clear? Anyway, I like your question. Thank you so much for your question. Chidebere Goodness, you can unmute and ask your question. Warrior Uchenna, you can please mute your mic.
okay, sir.
Chidebere Goodness, unmute and ask your question. If you can speak, we can. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Chidebere Goodness, unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. We can hear you now.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
The please, the chemical that normally use, can't it harm the insects?
What's chemical you're
Because
talking
you
about?
said that the insect will be used for food.
That what?
You mentioned of a chemical normally used,
I say if you want to kill the
normally
insect,
used in
you
catching of
can
it
use yes, you can use a
during the night.
chloroform. The essence is to kill them now. We want to kill the insects, but the essence is we don't want to distort their morphology. So of course the insect will be killed. So when you say won't you harm the insects, what do you mean by that? The insect must be killed now.
Will it still show the ah?
Please, you can mute
Okay,
now.
no worries,
We can't hear you. We
I
can't hear you
understand.
again.
Thank you, sir.
We can't hear you. It's very your background is very noisy. Please mute. Thank you.
I said I understand now, sir.
Yes, Silver, thank you. You can mute now. Okoye, Colette. Okoye Colette. You can unmute and ask your question. Okoye Colette, if you are speaking, we can't hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, sir, you said that we can add detergent to reduce the surface tension. So my question is, when we add that detergent, are we going to like make it to foam in order to reduce this?
Immediately a detergent is added in it, it has already reduced it, whether it is foaming or not. Immediately you have added detergent to the water, the surface tension would reduce. What that means is that the insect, when it lands on the water, it will sink. If not for the detergent, it will not sink. It will land on the water and fly out. Is that clear? That's why when you can see insects sliding on top of the water, they will land there because the tension, because of the surface tension. But immediately it is reduced by putting the detergent, then the insect can no longer stay on top. And remember, we want to catch them, so we want them to fall inside so that we can catch them. Is that clear now? Okay. Thank you for your question. It's already 8:04. I want to stop the meeting here. Let me prepare the attendance. By tomorrow is Sunday, yes. Sunday by 7 p.m. we'll start again. Is that clear? So let me prepare the attendance. I'll stop the recording now. When we come tomorrow, we'll start from the flight intersection trap. For today, let us stop just at the light trap. Is that clear? So let me prepare the attendance, and I'll stop the recording at this point.